Dobry вечер. Вы можете меня видеть? Слышно вам? Can you listen to my voice? Or can you, am I visible to you all? I believe that right now, yes. So it has started. I can see a few students of our CRUL group, and now we are live with our weekly session related to our CRUL, or the Certificate in Russian Language course, which is being offered through online mode as well as through open and distance learning mode. As you know that we have been talking about having such a platform where we can interact after having our sessions on Microsoft Teams. We have been having a lot of new concepts of the Russian grammar and Russian phonetics. So here you can also post your questions if you have any related to the content which we have discussed, and any other question which you like to share with all of us here. So if we just go back and review a few new concepts which were introduced to you, whether the gender in Russian, or whether the pronouns, personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, or the conjugation of some of the verbs which we have done. In order to make any sentence in Russian, we have started with the nominative case, or the iменительный падеж, which we already know. It is very important for us to first identify the noun by its gender, so that we can, as per the gender of that particular noun, make the correct sentence. Use correct pronoun, personal pronoun, or the possessive pronoun, or the conjugation of that particular verb. Suppose you want to make any simple sentence that this is my brother. So for brother it is brat, which is a masculine gender word, and that is why we use eta moi brat. Even if a female says so, that this is my brother, she would say eta moi brat. She will not say eta maya brat, because it is the gender of the noun which determines the usage of pronouns. So it is, I believe that clear to you all already, and now people who have joined recently, they can also think of using some of the important aspects. We have also been doing a few text in Russian, dialogues. We have also done a few direction words in Russian as well. Direction words like вот means here, тут means here, там means there, налево means on the left, справа means on the right, наверху means upstairs, внизу means downstairs. And related to this only, we have given a homework. I have gone through a few homeworks which were submitted by some of you, and I have found that still many of you are not following the written style. You are still writing with the printed style form of Russian letters. So please don't do that, especially you have used there, which is in print form. When we write in, when we use the letters in written form, it is there capital is like D of English, and when it is written in small, it is like of G in English. So please make note of it. Likewise, when you write there, it is like M, capital M. It looks like M of the small m of English in capital, and the size goes little smaller in the smaller letter. So you have to keep on doing that, using the written style instead of using the printed form, because it is not correct. However, I could understand the meaning of your sentences which you have submitted, but unfortunately, if you are going to get it evaluated, you might lose some marks. So please do understand that. So another important thing is that when you make a sentence, always try to use your own surroundings, like moidom or mayakom nata. It would certainly help you in that manner. Some of you have used very creatively. I could see that vastochnam uglu, because uglu means at the corner, and it is a masculine gender. So when we use the adjective vastochni or zapadni or any other, it will follow the style of that prepositional case that we will also discuss, because right now we have only discussed the changes in the noun. So far adjectives have not been used as far as the preposition case is concerned. We have used adjectives only in the form of nominative case. For example, red car. Это красивая машина. This is a red car. This is a beautiful red car. Это красивая красная машина. Here you can have used two different adjectives. So like this, only in nominative so far, not in preposition or any other case. So that will also learn a little bit slowly, that in order to make sentences which have some sense, you have to understand the usage. For example, we have done a lot of new words, like and the plural also, for example, but not necessarily all the words follow the same rule. As you know, in Russian there are a lot of expressions, there are a lot of exceptions that we have to understand. For example, if I want to say riba means fish, everybody knows, and the plural is riby, but riba is a feminine gender word, so riby. If I have to say stole means everybody knows that it is the table, and stalli is the plural form of stole, stalli. Likewise, you have certain examples like brat, but the plural is not brati, it is bratcha. Drug, the plural is druzya. So like this, you have many other exceptions in Russian as well, but not largely we follow the same rule. Okay, so you can also post some questions in the meantime, so that we can also have a discussion on that, and otherwise we will carry on with the some of the new concepts here. So for people who have recently started, we have done another important aspect of identifying different nouns as per the origin of these nouns, like whether they are animate or inanimate. For animate we say kto, means who, and for inanimate we say shto, or what. And likewise we have the question. For masculine we have the question kakoi, for feminine we have the question kakaya, and for neuter gender we have the question kakoya, and for plural we have the question kakiya. So suppose if I want to, we have done a few exercises related to masculine, feminine and neuter, and for plural if you want to use the kakiye eta knigi, for example, what kind of books are these? Eta kharoshiye knigi, eta plakhiye knigi, eta noviye knigi. So these adjectives are being used in plural now. Novi, novie, kharoshi, kharoshiye, plakhoi, plakhiye. So like this you can have different adjectives in plural as per the nouns. And when you talk about plural, so in plural normally when we talk about, so they follow the same set of rules. So whether it is masculine gender or feminine gender or neutral gender, we follow same kind of rule. But in certain cases, as you know already, in Russian we have the exceptions. So for that particular thing we will have a separate list of words. Alright, so I am going to give you one example, as we have done the homework where we have used the direction words. So это моя комната, this is my room. Налево телевизор. Some of you have written телевидение. So телевидение is broadcast. It's telecast or broadcast. It is not television. It is телевизор in Russian. Television set, because some of you must have googled it. In Google you have to write television set, then you will get the right word. Телевизор. Телевизор. Так называется слово. Телевизор. And I could also see that somebody has used front. So front we don't use as front in English. Front like in front of, or like that, because front in Russian means the front which is in the sense of defense or army, or during the war. So don't use these kind of words if you don't know the exact meaning. And I could also see some of the homeworks where people have used some of these kind of other words which were not appropriate. So please go back to your homeworks once again and look at the construction of your sentences. It would certainly help you. Then afterwards, now we are going to talk about some of the verbs, because verbs are very important aspect as far as a sentence's construction is concerned, because without verb you will never be able to express properly through your sentences. Because so far we are doing just nominative case, we are making simple sentence. This is my brother, this is my home, this is my room, this is my chair, this is my table, this is my pen, this is my pencil. So these kind of words these kind of sentences we are making, but they are not very helpful because they will not express the exact idea. For expressing the idea, we have to learn the verbs, and as far as verbs are concerned, you have to learn how to conjugate them, because as you know that in Russian, these personal pronouns like ya, ti, on, ana, ano, mui, vui, ani, you have to understand them, learn them, because sometimes not only you are speaking about yourself, you also talk about others. That is why when you talk about others, you would be able to express the exact and correct sentence and exact emotion and exact expression. So कहने का मतलब ये है कि you have to also think of others who would like to say something. So that is why these conjugations of these different verbs of Russian are important. So the first verb which we'd like to use is somebody has used in the class also, that what is the verb for to love. So to love, it is любить. Я люблю, ты любишь, он, она любит, мы любим, мы любим, вы любите, and они любят. So if you want to say that I love India, then India is India. The name of the country is India, and по-русски or in Russian it is India, is a feminine gender word. And as per the Vinichilny Padyesh or the accusative case, any noun of the feminine gender would change, the ending would change if you use the verb любить. Я люблю India. Я люблю маму. I love my mother. Я люблю мою маму. I love my sister. Я люблю свою сестру. Мою сестру. So like this you can change the ending. That you would also learn in days ahead. And like this, I love you, somebody has asked during that time. So я люблю вас или я люблю тебя. So like these constructions you would only be able to make when you know the conjugation of the verbs. Now let's take a few more examples. Like знать means to know. Я знаю, ты знаешь, он, она знает, мы знаем, вы знаете, они знают. It is different, Он любит, она любит, мы любим, вы любите, они любят. Whereas in знать, я знаю, ты знаешь, он знает, мы знаем, вы знаете, они знают. So there are two different categories of words. Любить ends with e, te and short sign, whereas znać ends with a, te and short sign. How do you categorize these different verbs? And they would follow largely the same set of rules. Likewise, we have работать. Я работаю, ты работаешь, она работает, мы работаем, вы работаете, они работают. Means to work. For example, I work in a factory, or I work in a university, for example. Я работаю в университете. Я работаю на заводе. तो इसमें जो example है, it is very clear that you are using the prepositions, right? Where do you work? So the first question which arises when you say where, it is где in Russian. And as per the rules of the grammar and the rule of the cases, we know that when we use где, it actually means where. And where do we use the prepositions? In preposition case. So we can find out with the help of these. So где вы работаете? Я работаю в офисе. I work in an office. Я работаю в школе. I work in a school. Я работаю в университете. I work in a university. Я работаю в компании. I work in a company, because compania ends with ia, so that is why the construction at the end changes. Company. Universitet, masculine gender, that is why universitete. Школа, feminine gender, ends with a, that is why школе. So these kind of rules we follow when we use the preposition в towards the question где. Университете, в школе, в аудитории, или на заводе. So like these kind of different nouns you put, and you can say where do you work. Then you can also understand how do we conjugated the verb. For example, мой отец, my father. Ankita is saying я работаю в университете. No, я работаю в университете. Я работаю, I work in a. So for in we have the preposition в, and universitet, masculine gender noun, changes into universitete. So this would be the correct. Good that you tried. And like this, first focus on the conjugation of the verbs. For example, if I want to say my father works in a ministry, министерство. Okay, министерство. Мой отец работает в мой отец работает в министерстве. So министерство changes into министерстве, which means my father works in the university. So like this you can also change a lot of new words by yourself, and first thing is that you have to follow the conjugation of these different verbs. I hope the concept is clear to everyone, and we shall be taking a few more examples if you would like to discuss them with us, and we can also talk about other approaches towards. And we can also have a few kind of conversational Russian sentences from you, so that we can understand it. Okay, so please keep on trying, and we can also discuss them during our own class, which will be held tomorrow at 4 p.m. So if you like to make more sentences by using your family words, so I'll just quickly tell you about some of the important words which we use in our relations in our family. So family is семья, and you can also do small homework who are ready to do it. It is not compulsory, but if you do it, it would help you. So you can make very small passage or text, a simple text of 4 or 5 sentences, where you can use all these different words which we use in our family. So family is семья. Семья, as we know, it is a feminine gender noun. So моя семья. So это моя семья. This is my family. Это мой отец. Его зовут so and so. This is my father. His name is so and so. Он работает. He works as. So then you can put a slash or comma, because we have not done the Tvarichelny Padjes as of now. But if we follow that, then if he is an engineer, so on engineer. on engineer. He is an engineer. And if you want to follow the second construction, on rabotait engineeram, on rabotait engineeram. So you are free to choose any of the construction, but I would suggest you to follow the first one, that eta moi aciet, he was avut so and so, on engineer, on vrach, yeah, any other profession you can put it there, there's no problem that. Then eta maya mama, this is my mother, io zavut so and so, io zavut, okay, ye yo, when you write io zavut so and so. Ana, suppose if she is a teacher, uchichilnitsa. If she is a homemaker or housewife, then damakha ziaika. So we write it like that, damakha ziaika. Okay, eta my sister, this is my sister, io zavut so and so. Ana uchitsa universitete, she studies in a university. Eta moi brat, and this is my brother, io zavut so and so. On toje, you remember we have did this expression toje, right? So you can use on toje uchitsa universitete, he also studies in the university. Then you can use starshi means elder. Sir, I asked question related to the conjugation verbs. Okay, but I don't see any question. Rabota universitete. This you can ask the question again, because the other question I couldn't understand. I corrected it. Okay, so like this you can make small passage. And if you have any pet in your house, then you can use eta nasha sabaka, eta nasha koshka. Sabaka is dog and koshka is cat, and you can use that in your own. And then finally you can say that mi живем, we live. Жить means to live. Mi живем, whichever the place you are in. Mi живем Delhi, mi живем Lucknow, or any other place. So you can put it there. But please remember the usage of verb, because when we say жить где, to live where, жить Mumbai, жить Delhi. But if you have some word which is ending with the hard consonant, for example, if you want to say Faridabad, yeah, mi живем Faridabad. I have confusion. Ankita is saying, just let's look at the question. I have confusion related to this. How we can find where to use yesh and ish? It is as per the T form. First thing is the coaches from the verb khachiyach. The coaches, yes. And like this for any other, because it is simple, the verbs which ends with e, te and soft side. And then there is another group of verbs which ends with ye, te and soft sign. A, te and soft sign, e, te and soft sign, and ye, te and soft sign. So there are three different groups. T zaftarkaish. Very good. From zaftarkach. The verb is zaftarkach. So largely, for example, zaftarkach ends with a, te and soft sign, like rabotach, ti rabotaish, ti zaftarkaish. Right? And gatovich, the verb to prepare, gatovich, e, te and soft sign, ti gatovish. So like this you can identify. Okay. Further, we can discuss this also in detail during the class. But the simple thing is that to find out the group which is belong to, whether it is a, te and soft sign, rabotaish, zaftarkaish, and if it is the other one, gatovish. So from gatovich. So grammar rules ke liye you can look at the Russian book which is available. It is known as Russian in Exercises from Khvronina. Russian in Exercises from Khvronina, or Ruski Язык в упражнениях. The author is Khvronina. So this is very easily available on Google. You can find out, and we would also like to find out if we have it. We'll share with you all. So by doing different kind of exercises with the Russian grammar, you would have a good hold, you would have a good grip over it. So don't worry. Okay, if anybody is having any other question, then please post so that we can answer to, and then we'll wind up today's session. If anybody is having more question, you can ask me. Any other question? But largely the questions which have been posted are answered. Okay, so I would like to thank you everyone for watching this live Facebook session with us, and we would like to make note of it that people who are actively participating in these all sessions, because it is also a part of continuous assessment, and we will definitely look at it. Dharmendra ji, I have seen your homework, but script is not correct, so you have to work on the script. You may also, I would like to recommend you to also keep on interacting with other learners in our group on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and on Telegram, so that you can have a fair idea about the script. It is not very difficult. If you look at the first a few sessions, you would get a fair idea how to use the script, because how do we print Russian and how do we write Russian, it is absolutely different, especially a few tricky letters like the, te. So these are different letters you have to follow. So please have a have interaction. Again, I would like to recommend you can have interactions with Ankita, Sukhvinder, with Nidhi, and with Jackie, and any other who would like to help him, please help him. You can also talk to Arsh, you can talk to Rohit. So all of what everyone is doing, I would like to say excellently. So please have more frequent interactions with each one of you, so that you can understand Russian grammar and phonetics very well. Okay, so I would like to thank you everyone for participating in this live session on Facebook. We will be back with our weekly Facebook live session next Friday at the same time at 4 p.m. And I would like to tell you one important information, that today we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the then Soviet forces. They won over the then fascist and Nazis during the Second World War. So it is commemorated as the 75th anniversary, which is going on. Both Indian government and Russian government are celebrating it. You can look at the Facebook post of ours a few minutes later. You can also look at a few posts of the Russian embassy later, as right now an international webinar is going on, which is also attended by me. So I thank you once again. We'll hope to see you again tomorrow and on Friday, which is coming next week. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. До свидания.